What's going on there, folks? Good evening. The Earthmaster here on this beautiful Friday evening here with my co-host, Missy Mimes.
How's it going, guys?
How are you tonight, Missy Mimes?
I'm wonderful, and yourself?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. Got a nice barbecue going outside, so dinner is on the grill.
Woohoo!
Seems like we're always barbecuing, huh?
Hey, it's the only way to go sometimes.
It is good stuff. All right, Friday, what do we got here for date? February 25th, 2022, about 7:33 p.m. California time, of course. And the latest quake out there on the Earthquake 3D globe shows a 2.6 over here around the Puerto Rico area. Always seems like kicking up around Puerto Rico every time we do a live update. One other spot we're kind of watching out here along the west coast, California specifically, lighting up in the earthquake department. Let's go ahead and check it out on the latest map here from the USGS. We'll bump that. There we go. There's the activity kicking up here. This is the all magnitudes map showing activity basically from about Redding, California southward, kicking up pretty dramatically. Quite a bit of earthquake activity ramping up, and some movement not showing up here on the USGS map. Maybe they'll get to it, maybe they won't. But just a few minutes ago, I'm sure you guys seen a pretty good couple spikes of earthquakes around the Eureka area on the Petrolia seismograph station there on the live stream. Seen some earthquake activity flatlining the data coming in. So movement is definitely kicking up here in Northern California along the Cascadia subduction zone too. But again, not showing up here on the USGS map. I want to show you guys the Tremor map from tonight. And there's a reason why we're seeing the spike in activity there in Northern California. Getting a pretty good cluster of tremor movement into the Northern California region, and just to the west of Seattle up there, 129 epicenters. Pretty good amount of tremor tonight, and that's leading to earthquake activity, ultimately building up pressure along the region there of the Cascadia subduction zone. So what the folks are reporting here, the USGS folks, a little bit of activity here around the Round Mountain area. This is just outside of Redding, California, to the northeast. Mount Shasta sits up here, beautiful volcano. I can see that clear as day from the Chico area. 1.8 at 11.6 kilometers. But you got to remember, there's definitely activity kicking up here, not showing up here on the USGS map. But obviously, live seismograph stations do not lie, and there's activity kicking up for sure. How big? It's kind of hard to say, but there's definitely earthquake activity not being reported. Movement up and down the fault system here called the Macama Fault. It's kind of a coastal range fault inland into the North American plate off the San Andreas Fault System. This is the plate boundary right here, which, by the way, did see a little earthquake activity earlier just to the east of the Point Arena area, 1.1. But activity kicking up here on this Macama Fault System, capable of definitely producing a pretty large earthquake. It's been a while since we've seen a large one on this system. But definitely some microquakes kicking up today. And, of course, the geyser region seeing activity ramp up around the Cobb Mountain area. Kicking up there for sure. Eastern part of Sierra Nevada, around through the Reno area. Most of this activity from earlier this morning. We did see some movement kick up here within the last hour with a 2.3 in the Walker, California region. This is kind of around the Antelope Valley area. Antelope Valley sits right here, obviously on the map. And it's been kind of quiet. Normally we have been seeing some swarming. If you guys remember, a lot of swarming activity here on this side of the Antelope Valley area and also over here to the west. But that hasn't really been the case over the past week or so. But with movement increasing right now along the west coast, that could be changing. Tonopah, Nevada, around the Mina, Nevada area, also getting in on some earthquake activity, including a 3.5 that struck just a short time ago. Since then, we've seen a 1.4 and some, of course, aftershock activity following the 6-pointer that struck back here a couple years or so now. I believe it's been almost 2 years. Had that 6-pointer strike here in the Nevada desert region. Activity can continue there for years at a time, no doubt. Sometimes activity will die down and it will pick back up. So that's kind of what it's doing over the last week or so. Long Valley supervolcano. Only one little earthquake outside of there around the Mammoth Lakes region at 0.7. Further down south, Ridgecrest area. You got to watch this region. This has been kind of spotty in earthquake activity. We haven't seen this area kind of hit with anything above a 3.0 in a while. And normally we see quite a bit of swarming out here. This area definitely got hit 2019, the July 4th, July 5th sequence of earthquakes.
I believe so.
Was it 2019?
I believe so, yeah.
Or was it 18? I think it was 2019.
2019. Because it was in. Was it?
I think it is, yeah. 2019.
Yeah, it was 2019.
When they had that series of earthquakes there, July 4th, July 5th. So
Yeah.
this activity normally sees quite a bit of aftershock activity, and it's just been kind of dead and quiet here over the last week or so. Like I said, nothing really above the 3.0 threshold in that region. So got to watch that for some potential further movement, considering all the other areas have been hit recently with the, that 6-pointer that struck up there in Nevada. And Sawtooth fault system, pretty quiet up there. We'll get to that here in a little bit. What do we got down here around the Thousand Oaks area? What is that? Santa Paula area? A little swarming.
Paula.
A little bit of swarming activity. What's this sound?
Yeah.
Come on. Dead air on the air is not good.
I have no idea how. Ojai?
Ojai?
Maybe?
If I were to look at
Ojai
it.
Valley?
Ojai? Yeah, I think that it kind of looks right. Are we correct, guys? Ojai? Let us know in the comments below. Of course, we're open to constructive
criticism.
Exactly. Right? Whether it's good or bad, it's all good.
It was just kind of, the dead air was just like, that is an odd word.
It is. Sulphur Mountain is kind of where this activity is kicking up here. Got a 2.3 at least so far in this little cluster of quakes. Now it's pretty deep earthquake activity stretching down to about 16 kilometers, and looks like it's just around the San Cayetano fault system, right? Cayetano at the Mission Ridge, kind of actually just to the west of San Cayetano fault system. Cayetano, see. What else we got here? Yeah,
I know.
I grew up out here in California,
Yep.
so I do know my Spanish. I am not going to
Yep.
speak my update in Spanish, though, because I'll probably slaughter it. But this area definitely did see some movement. I believe it's been within 30 days. Let's look at this. Yeah, definitely. In that area where we've seen swarming here, it's been over a week. I think it's been a couple weeks now. Had some earlier earthquake activity, and looks like the largest was a 3.9, so this could all be aftershock sequences following that 3.9. Hopefully it's not a 4-quake. We did cover this fault system a little bit more in detail in one of our videos there a couple weeks ago. Not for sure exactly what this fault system is capable of, but it's definitely lighting up. Look at that. Look how many earthquakes are within the last hour.
Jeez.
I mean, all those red circles there indicating the recent earthquake activity within the last hour. And let's go ahead and check. I want to back out of here and see what we got for the U.S. hazard fault systems around here. Is it going to show us that? Well, it's definitely out there.
That's so funny that you just said that. I just had 2 microquakes come in that spot right now. It was, the 2.2 and the 1.2 just came through on the app.
1.0?
Or 1.0, yeah.
Either way, it's deep.
Boom, boom.
It's deep, but it's also getting shallower too at the same time.
Yeah.
See that 16? Now we're up at about 9. So we got to watch this area pretty closely. Whenever we see a major type of swarming like that, definitely something to watch. I'm going to jump over here real quick to the Caltech website and check out that fault system if they have it on here. It's a Cayetano, C-A-Y. Ooh, I don't see it.
Is that on there?
Right? Is it not on here? I'm surprised they don't have that on here. Can you look up the Cayetano fault system? Oh, it's a San Cayetano. Looking in the wrong area. San.
Need some S's, eh?
S's. I'm jumping ahead of the game here.
There it is.
Right here, the fault system right here.
Yep.
This. What do we got? It's a thrust fault. That explains the deep fault, the deep earthquake activity. Most recent rupture less than 5,000 years ago. The accumulated slip rate is pretty high in this area. Look at that, 9 mm per year.
Wow.
Between 1.3 and 9 mm. That's pretty significant for a thrust fault system. Intervals between major ruptures is uncertain. Probable magnitudes out here along this San Cayetano fault is 6.5 to 7.3. The other note's dip is to the north. So, well, it doesn't show any recent earthquake activity. No notable recent earthquake activity when it comes to major ruptures. So, with that accumulated stress there per year, that's a large amount. So, I wouldn't doubt if we start seeing some activity in the larger department hit on that fault system here pretty soon. I mean, there's no documentation of any large quake here in recent times, so that's something to watch, right? Definitely something to watch here along the West Coast, Southern California area, pretty closely. Far as populated density, if we had a 7-pointer down there, I believe obviously Los Angeles is going to feel it. Is going to do tremendous damage. I highly doubt it, but still, nobody wants to be shooken up by a large earthquake like that. So watching this area above the Thousand Oaks area pretty closely on the San Cayetano Fault around the Sulphur Mountain Range. Shooting down south here, the San Jacinto Fault Zone, still pretty active today. I've seen a pretty good swarm of movement up and down the San Jacinto Fault Range. Segments off of the main one as well. Look at over here to the west. Seen some swarming kick up here around the what is that? Chachula? Oh, somebody. Is it Ka or Cha?
It's a C-A, so it's
C-A
Ka.
Kahula? Kahila?
Maybe Kahula. The I might be silent.
Possibly. Santa Rosa Hills as well up here, seeing a little earthquake activity. But general movement here in the southern part of the state, definitely.
Like horseshoe-looking, like movement right there.
Yeah, there's kind of see the mountain ranges right there too.
Yeah.
Of course, these fault systems, for the most part, run parallel. Looks like there's or not parallel, but northwest to southeast here. There is a little. What's this? This is another segment of the Elsinore Fault.
Yeah.
The what is that? Julian? Where'd he go? Julian or Julian?
Julian.
I thought it was Julian.
That will be corrected.
Okay. Julian. Oh, no. Here we go with the Friday night slaughter. Either way, activity definitely ramping up here, folks. We did have some further movement into the Gulf of California with a 4.4 kicking off there. And there's some other movement as well, not showing up here on the USGS map. This is from earlier. We'll run by the EMSC model here pretty soon. Let's see. So what else we got here? Up here, did this just come in? No, that's been there for a little while. Around the Walker area, Intermountain West regions through the Utah area, still showing some activity. Not super active, but definitely kind of an increase in movement. New Mexico over here got a what is that?
Pueblitos.
That's probably what I was going to try to say, but you beat me to it. You got your Spanish tongue out there a little bit better than I do tonight. Pueblo, blah blah blah. There we go. It's just one of those nights, folks. One of those nights. 2.9 in the New Mexico area at 5 kilometers down there. Definitely a trail of fault systems that run through here. So New Mexico can get some earthquakes. The accumulated stress rate, though, not super high in that region. Oklahoma out here in the northern part, north of Enid. Beautiful city out there. South of Medford in the Waukita Trend and gas oil fields out here. Striking things up. Rich Valley oil field. Quite a bit of earthquake activity today. And what do we got for the New Madrid zone? Pretty quiet. Eastern part of the country, quiet as well. Yellowstone National Park, I don't believe we have too much going on there. And once again, there's the tremor map here along the Cascadia subduction zone, showing that 129 epicenters of tremor, mostly there into Northern California, a little bit there outside of Seattle. As far as specific quakes up here outside of Seattle, a little bit of movement, nothing specifically around that tremor activity, but definitely putting some further strain out here along that area of the Cascadia as well. Yellowstone National Park, let's go ahead and check that out here real quick. Not a whole lot going on. Did have some little ice quakes or little microquakes earlier around the borehole region, but the rest of the park looks pretty darn quiet tonight. Not any earthquake activity to really discuss there in that region of the states. Alaska seeing some movement kick up here outside of Anchorage. Nothing major going on. A little scattered activity throughout the Aleutian Islands. And this quake here from earlier, 5.3 at 29 kilometers at the kind of towards the end of the Aleutian chain there. And one deep earthquake here into the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench with a 4.1 at 242 kilometers. There's that westward movement here. Got to watch this area around the Java Trench. Of course, they had that, what was that, 6.2 that struck here a couple days ago now. Still seeing aftershock sequences here, but we're also noticing some movement here, specifically down into the Java Trench. This area, of course, here, Sumatra region, very capable of producing those big earthquakes, those megaquakes along this trench. And accumulated stress here is very high. I think it's 77 mm per year, which is very significant when it comes to the short amount of time it takes to actually build up enough pressure, enough stress to produce a pretty large quake in that region. Papua New Guinea, what do we got over here? A 5.4 on the north coast. That looks pretty shallow, about 10 kilometers or so, right around the Bismarck Sea area. Tonga and the Kermadec Trench, all this movement here from yesterday or from earlier this morning. No renewed activity kicking up there. Let's see what we got. South America. This is all older activity as well. It's just been kind of dead when it comes to the 4.0 and above. We did have a Mid-Atlantic Ridge earthquake earlier today, earlier this evening, I should say, 5.0 in the northern Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and also down south, the South Sandwich Trench area. Seen a pretty good amount of activity. Seen that 5.8, almost a 6-pointer earlier. Let's see here. Hawaii, let's go ahead and zoom in here to the Big Island and check out the activity that's going on here. Nothing within the last hour, only a handful of quakes there. About 24 earthquakes around the Pahala area. Nothing really going on around the Loihi Seamount or Kilauea, which is at a pause currently in the eruptive stage. Mauna Loa, one little earthquake up at the top, 1.8 near the top of the Mauna Loa region. Earthquakes Canada, we'll check these guys out here on the map and see if they're reporting anything. See, these guys are you're definitely showing activity up here at the northern end of the Cascadia. Let's go ahead and bring the plate boundaries here up. Of course, there is tremor occurring. Remember, up here outside of Seattle, that could be what's going on up here to the north. A little bit of surface quaking. Actually, this is down into the subduction zone, 1.9 at 27.4 kilometers, just outside of the Gold River, BC area. Cascadia subduction zone ends roughly here around the hand that I have here, which I still can't figure out what's going on with it, but it is what it is. And what else we got here for activity? A little bit of movement way over here outside of Quebec. Some small microquakes in the red circles. But most of the activity, at least for now, appearing over here along the west coast region. EMSC model, I do want to check out that map here from the folks there, showing a little bit of a different, well, probably not different, hopefully not too much different. But there is the activity kicking up into the Gulf region. Let's go ahead and kick up here. Zoom in if we can here a little bit onto the states and show you guys a trail of activity stretching up here. Look at all that movement. 3.9, a couple 4s mixed in there as well. USGS not really showing all of the 4s. I think they only have
looks like only one.
Only one over here, but that's going to be this one right here.
That's
4.4. But there's definitely some other activity striking up there into the Gulf of California region, 4.0, 4.4, and some other 3s working their way up, some 2s in there as well. So it's definitely building up here along the west coast. Middle America Trench pretty active as well. Quite a few 3s kicking off there in the area of the Mexico and off the coast of Guatemala, it looks like. What do we got here for solar weather? Not a whole lot. We're going to do a question and answer here on the live stream, not on the update video. So just to keep the update video not super long, like an hour long. Try to keep that at least under 30 minutes at max. There is some movement kicking up. We did have a C flare kick up here earlier today. Looks like into the upper C class, although these folks not really showing what it was. No noteworthy events detected, but there's definitely an upper C flare kicking up there on the solar flare class chart. And at least over the next couple days here, things pretty mellow. A little bit of heightened movement, or at least heightened activity around the February 28th, end of the month, with a 40% chance of some storming. C flare, man, only 10% chance here from it's kind of odd, right? 10% chance of a C flare. We actually get something above a C flare.
Right.
I'm kind of curious to see exactly where that came from. We do have a couple Earthside sun flares facing us, 2955 and 2954. What did I say?
Sun flares.
Oh, a couple sunspots, right? Thank you. A couple sunspots kicking up here. No flaring yet. These things are sun flares. I'm glad you caught me.
Sea flares.
Couple sun flares. It happens, right? It definitely happens. So a couple sunspots facing us. Just those eyes kind of watching Earth right now. Let's see what else we got here. Anything else we got? Missy Mimis? Nothing really going on in the national data buoy systems out here. All things pretty mellow.
All looks quiet.
That is a good thing for now. Yeah, so I think we'll end this update video, and we'll take questions here as we end this video. And we just got to be on guard out here along the West Coast. Definitely activity kicking up here a little bit in the California area for sure. All right, folks, there's something that just popped up there in Hawaii. See that one?
Yeah.
This wasn't here just a minute ago.
Nope, it was just quiet.
1.8, 32 kilometers. All right, folks, we're going to jump off here, get back to the live stream, and do a question and answer show. So peace out, everyone. Have a great night.
Stay safe out there, guys.
Chat you guys a little bit later. Peace out.